Get ready for another even bigger drop in temperatures. More rain is in the forecast. Winds get gusty, and all of that happens in the next 48 hours with even bigger changes on the way. Hey everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Darrell Winninger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center, and we're about to take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. A lot of changes have already happened today on Juneteenth for this Thursday, and it's just going to continue to switch it up as we go forward through the rest of this weekend into the weekend. So let's start off with where we're sitting. Right here, right now, there's a whole lot of cloud cover across Central Oregon. There have been a few showers showing up on radar. We do not see any raindrops on any of the lenses of these 6 cameras. We do see, however, in Prineville where there's a little bit more blue in the sky than clouds, but this is, remember, just the beginning of a changing weather pattern that's going to remain active through the overnight hours Friday and Saturday. Current radar does show some sprinkles, some light showers, but we're so dry across the high desert right now. I don't even think most of this is reaching the ground. I haven't had any reports of any wet conditions, and even looking at some of the roads across Central Oregon, most of them remain dry. So I do think that we're getting a little bit of virga, rain that's evaporating before it reaches the surface. Now, on the flip side of that, winds have already been gusty. We do have still some low relative humidity values, and some of these changes stay with us already today. There's been a big drop in temperatures, but let's circle back to that. We're going to go ahead and move forward, looking at the latest fire evacuation zones for the Alder Springs fire. Now, this has changed big time here in the last 12 to 18 hours. We did have a level 1 evacuation on the other side of the White Shoes Creek to the west, as well as through northern Deschutes County and even parts of Crooked River Ranch. That has expired, and it's actually been pulled back quite a bit. Most of the area around the perimeter of the Alder Springs fire is now level 1 evacuation, and when we zoom in and take a closer look, there's just a few parts of the community of Crooked River Ranch that still even have a level 2 BSET evacuation. Most of it is level 1. So this is the last update I'm going to give you on this, the Alder Springs fire. At the moment, the current details about that fire are that it's 3,278 acres. That's the size of the footprint, and 26% contained. And through the next couple of days, I only expect that to improve quite a bit because of the rain chances that are on the way. So let's go ahead and look around at a couple of other conditions. First off, air quality is sitting in the green. We have good air quality through the Tri-County area, and you can see right here, that's where the Alder Springs fire is. Remember again, 26% containment. But when it comes to relative humidity, I showed you that there were some showers showing up on radar. I just don't think that's reaching the ground because we're far from saturation for most of Central Oregon. Now, parts that have been getting a little bit of that evaporation, where we have some virga, their relative humidity values are much higher, up to 49% in Sisters and 56% in La Pine. But for the rest of Central Oregon, most of us are sitting in the 20s, even 19% in Paulina. Now, through the next couple of days, we are going to get rain. Those showers are going to reach the ground, but here through the rest of the evening, a few sprinkles possible reaching the surface. But here's another look at it. We are on the backside of a cold front, and that cold front already brought a big drop in temperatures. So there are showers showing up on radar at the moment. The closest thunderstorm activity is well to our south and southeast, right around Burns. I really don't think we're looking at thunderstorms today. Even tomorrow does keep a low chance of thunderstorm activity, and we'll talk about that here through the next few minutes. Moving on, looking at enhanced satellite imagery. This is infrared satellite imagery with an enhancement thrown on it to really help us pick out where those tall clouds are, where there could be some precipitation. So I'm almost positive that the rain is falling along this line that's pushing through the high desert. Just a lot of it hasn't actually reached the surface, but some sprinkles are still expected through the rest of this evening. Looking at the bigger picture, there is a broad area of low pressure that's moving out of the Gulf of Alaska and through the northern Pacific Ocean. This area of low pressure right here. It's not a substantial low, it's not really significant, but it is going to bring a significant drop in temperatures. It is going to bring rain back into the forecast, and it is going to keep winds breezy, even gusty at times across Central Oregon. This is going to change up the weather pattern big time even though it doesn't look too impressive on satellite imagery, even when we throw the pressure lines on there. Remember, those white lines are isobars, equal lines of pressure, and so when they get tightly packed together, that's where winds are stronger. And over central Oregon today, winds have been a little breezy, even gusty at times, but we're continuing to track that next system, and it really starts to make an impact across the high desert through the day tomorrow. Here's how this plays out. Another dip in temperatures is expected, but our forecast model shows we have a whole lot of cloud cover this evening. Winds taper off gradually, coming back down to a light breeze. And then by Friday, during the late morning, getting into the midday hours, some showers come down the east slopes of the Cascades through the western side of our Tri-County area toward the 97 corridor. And through Friday, it's really just scattered off and on showers possible. Much cooler and breezy. And then by Saturday, after a brief lull in the rain, more precipitation is expected across central Oregon. Meanwhile, we've already had that dip in temperatures. Highs in the last 24 hours, mostly in the 70s, few 80s, couple 60s, and a lot of these temperatures are from today. I'm not quite sure that 81 in Warm Springs is, but it was still cooler across the entire Tri-County area. Right now we're sitting in the 60s and some 70s are on the map. A little warmer in Paulina and Warm Springs, 70 degrees in Madras, 68 in Prineville, Redmond, and Bend, 61 in Sisters, Sun River, and Lapine. Higher elevations already in the 50s, but this represents a 5 to almost 15 degree drop in temperatures in just the last 24 hours. It's getting even cooler tomorrow. So by the time we're well into this active pattern, we're looking at temperatures running between 15 and 20 degrees cooler than average for this time of the year. So we still have even more cooling left to go, and here's how it's going to play out. Our temperature trend shows we're falling out of the 60s into the 50s this evening, then 40s overnight. Some 30s are expected. Look at tomorrow after midnight through the early morning hours, or the midday hours, I should say, late morning and midday. That's when temperatures are only going to be topping out in the 50s with some 60s. So we don't warm up too much at all. This is when shower chances start up across the high desert. And when it comes to our UV intensity forecast, notice tomorrow there's a significant dip. Earlier today, we were still very high. We were up at an 8. Tomorrow we'll be at a 5. By Saturday, we'll be at a 2. Low intensity, UV intensity forecast. By Sunday that starts to rebound, and by Monday it's back up into that very high range. But even tomorrow we're looking at highs in the 50s with some 60s and those scattered showers. So when it comes to this moderate UV intensity forecast, you don't need to know too much about ways to protect yourself from the sun. More you'll be worried about keeping dry and staying warm. And here's another forecast model. This one is going to take us through the journey of how this next system really impacts us, and we're using 500 millibar geopotential heights, and this really helps paint a target over where there's a ridge of high pressure. Where there's a ridge of high pressure, where there's a trough of low pressure, and what it means for us. And so that low is digging into the Pacific Northwest, making landfall Friday. As soon as this low starts to make landfall, it begins to fizzle out, and then it's going to redevelop. But it's also going to bring showers, a much cooler air mass. So we're driving those temperatures all the way into the 50s with some 60s. By Saturday, low to mid 50s expected. And more showers are in the forecast. Winds are going to get breezy. Then that ridge of high pressure out over the Pacific Ocean starts to build into the Pacific Northwest through the day on Sunday. That means clearing, and that means the warming trend begins. Remember, I said the warming trend begins. It doesn't catch us all the way back up to average for this time of the year. However, highs are going to be in the 60s, a little more pleasant, still well below that average high of 75 in Bend and 78 in Redmond. And so just not quite there. But by Tuesday, we'll be catching up to near average by Monday, we'll be catching up to near average for this time of the year. By Tuesday, we'll be well above average once again into the 80s. So a quick look at that temperature trend. And the fun fact, tomorrow is the summer solstice. It's just not going to feel like it. And the good news is we definitely need the rain. And the cooler temperatures are just coming with this next system. Winds will be breezy, but our fire danger levels are going to remain very low because of the precipitation that we're getting. Now, the massive drop in temperatures is just a reminder that the weather's going to do what the weather's going to do, even if it is officially turning into summer with the summer solstice. Now, as we go ahead and go forward, we're going to be looking at a different forecast model. This is your traditional model. It shows wind, speed, direction. It shows surface features. It shows clouds, and it shows the chance of precipitation. So this evening, that next system that we're tracking, still well out over the Pacific Ocean, right along the Canadian coastline, and here through tonight, it continues to roll this way. Now, where we've had a few sprinkles, that dries out, and then by Friday, some scattered showers are expected. Notice not everybody gets wet, and there will be periods of clearing, but temperatures still not going very far, still topping out on either side of 60 degrees. By Saturday, wetter, cooler, breezy, even gusty for parts of the high desert. Both Friday and Saturday, gusts of 30 plus mile per hour are expected, and we keep that chance of precipitation as we go through the first half of this weekend. Then watch what happens on Sunday. The first half of the day, still got some cloud cover over the high desert. By the afternoon and evening, clearing is expected, and this is our rebound day, so let's reset. Let's see what happens after that. We're going to look at the GFS. This is our long-range forecast model, and it takes us through the next 7 to 10 days. I typically don't show this one on air, so this is a little bit exclusive for these deep dives into the forecast, but by Sunday evening, by 11 o'clock, we're already clear. And then through Monday, we stay sunny. Some afternoon and evening clouds are expected. By Tuesday, mostly sunny. By Wednesday, plenty of sunshine, just some in and out clouds expected, and that is a tail end of a weak trough rolling through. It's going to bring a slight dip in temperatures, but by Thursday, we're still topping out in the 80s this time next week. The best chance of rain is going to be Friday and Saturday. The coolest temperatures in the planner will be Friday and Saturday. That's also when we're expecting the strongest winds. So between now and Saturday at 11 p.m., it looks like we are all getting wet. A little bit of snow in the Cascades. Now this specific forecast model, this is a high resolution model, and I really think it's overdoing it when it comes to snow in the Cascades, through the passes. Some snow is expected, just not that much. So let's shift gears. Let's look at a different forecast model. This one not as high of resolution, and all the way through the winter, this past winter, this one was nailing the forecast when it comes to snow totals. So by 7 a.m. Friday, still dry. Then through the day, midday and afternoon hours, we start to get those scattered showers. A lot of us are at least going to get some sprinkles. Many of us actually get wet. Temperatures do not go very far. By Saturday, even more rain, a little bit of snow in the mountains. To the highest elevations of the Three Sisters, we could be looking at up to 4 inches. Outside of that, not too impressive at all. Bachelor is showing 1.5 inch at best, but I don't even think we're going to get that much at Bachelor. Now, when it comes to winds this afternoon and evening, they have been pretty gusty. Those gusts right now are ranging mostly between 10 and 20 miles per hour. Some gusts a little higher. Actual winds are between 10 and 20 miles per hour as well. And so not too far off from the actual wind speeds with where those gusts are, and we're just ramping up. And through the rest of this evening, stronger winds are expected, but it's really not going to be until we get to Friday and Saturday that we have the strongest of the winds, those gusts getting much higher through the afternoon and evening both days. So for tonight, temperatures fall back into the 40s with some 30s, and clouds stick around, a few sprinkles early. By Friday, we're looking at scattered showers. There is a chance of thunderstorm activity. It's just not a very good chance of thunderstorm activity. And then with those 50s and 60s, we get even cooler Saturday. By Sunday, we start to rebound. By Monday, we're through the 70s. By Tuesday, we're back into the 80s. Temperatures on this next warming trend peak on Wednesday. This time next week, we get that slight dip in temperature. So a recap, your weather headlines for this Thursday, June the 19th. The ridge retreats and our next system rolls in. It's going to be a gusty and wetter pattern, and temperatures tumble Friday and Saturday. Remember, we're looking at 15 to 20 plus degrees cooler than average for this time of the year. Past all that, days 8 through 14, looks like that ridge sticks with us, and warmer temperatures are expected, warmer than average temperatures, and seasonal precipitation. Look, we need the rain. Here is the last 30 days of observed precipitation, close to 0% of what we should be getting this time of the year. Now, when it comes to our drought conditions, our current last week's drought monitor showed that abnormally dry. It's getting a little closer to the Tri-County area. This week, however, we saw a little bit of change. Abnormally dry for parts of each one of our Tri-County areas. All of Jefferson County is abnormally dry, and most of Crook County is abnormally dry. Technically not in a drought yet, but we're inching our way towards it because the observed precipitation for the last 30 days is very little. Even looking back at the last 365 days, we're still seeing that yellow spread out a little bit more, and we're running, actually I should change that from near normal precipitation for the last 365 days to a little below average. But either way, we're about to get a good bit of rain with much cooler conditions. Here's one more quick look at your weather headlines for this Thursday, June the 19th. That's the latest in weather. Join us tonight at 6 o'clock on CBS after the NBA game on ABC, and then at 11 p.m. on ABC and CBS. We'll see you then. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments section below. I'll do my best to get to them and answer them for you. But for now, that's it. Have a good one.